All right, welcome everybody. We got episode 8 of Do the Move. My name's Chad, joined here by Mr. Richie Buckets himself. We've got John, we've got Sean, Bobby, and Joey here talking some more wrestling from this week. Going to go over Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite Rampage, the Impact show that was in Chicago. We can finally talk about since it actually aired here this past Thursday. Followed up by our Chef's Kiss segments and Bone to Pick. Gentlemen, we want to start off with anything? Got anything off our chests we want to talk about? No? No? All
I got
right.
You're
something real
holding
quick.
something in, man.
The Cowboy had it coming.
Oh, boy. Well, sounds like we're going to be in for it here. I'm going to kick things off here. We'll start with some cliff notes on Raw, a.k.a. I'm just going to read all of the results because I didn't get to watch it. So we had Alexa Bliss and Asuka defeat Nikki Ash and Doudrop to advance to the women's tag team tournament semifinals. Miz and Ciampa defeated Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. Drew McIntyre defeated KO by DQ. We've got Riddle returning. I guess he started beating the shit out of Seth freaking Rollins. Emphasis on the freaking, not fucking. Let's see. Veer Mahan came out. Looks like he had a squash match. Bobby Lashley defeated AJ Styles in a U.S. Championship match. Dakota Kai defeated Dana Brooke. Theory defeated Dolph Ziggler. Any thoughts on Raw from Monday night? Mr. Joey, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I think for the first time, probably since they went PG, the word wrestler was used multiple times during that promo by Drew and KO, specifically by Drew. I think the line was like, "We were freaking wrestlers in a freaking wrestling ring. Let's just wrestle. We're not sports entertainers. We're not superstars. We're just wrestlers." Paraphrasing, but I think just hearing that was a very calculated bullet point by Triple H just to further push the matter that, hey, these lines, these language points that have been so petty and critiqued over the years are gone. And it really, I think, added some extra oomph to Drew's promo. I've been a Drew fan for a long time, as Chad and Bob know specifically. And to me, that was his best promo I think I've ever seen. And he's been doing some pretty good work, but I think that promo was the top notch for him. Bob, go ahead.
I just want to say, guys, I've always had Raw in the background for years, just not really paying attention. But man, this week I really paid attention, and god damn, what a good week of Raw. Top to bottom, guys. It was a great show. Raw opened up with a great women's tag match, I believe, right, guys? It was it Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, Alexa Bliss and Asuka defeated Nikki Ash and Doudrop.
It was a good tag match, honestly. I thought it was a good way to kickstart, or I mean, not even kickstart. They kicked it off the week before, but it was a nice way to continue with the women's tag tournament. We got 3 banger of matches, in my opinion, with the Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre match, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and the main event, Austin Theory taking on Dolph Ziggler. Dolph is not a main event guy nowadays, but again, if you could give him an opportunity, he can go out and steal the show. I thought those 3 matches were hell of a matches for this week, and hey, it was just a start, guys.
Right on. Mr. Richie Buckets, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that with Hunter taking over, you definitely see the pacing of the show being a lot more palatable than it has been in the past decade. Just the way that things just seem to flow now as far as the show. It doesn't feel like a 3-hour show that you're watching anymore. And then the random things that come out of nowhere, like Dexter Lumis comes out of like the middle of nowhere again. Like they're like teasing things, and it's just the storytelling is getting so much better. I guess I got to do like a pre-chef's kiss with that promo between KO and Drew McIntyre. That definitely was fiery and passionate. It's a good feeling to see that wrestlers the sports entertainment, well, they can say wrestlers now, they feel like they don't have a leash on them anymore. And it's really nice to see. It seems like they have joy in actually working at the company. Go ahead, Sean.
Just picking up off where you left off, the Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens bit was just super fire. How the match finished is just testament to Hunter taking creative control over. And if Vince were in control at that time, guarantee KO would have taken a dump, would have been dumped on by Drew. Finishing it with a DQ finish is perfect to keep Kevin Owens' momentum going forward. But yeah, overall, Raw's just been on a roll lately. Looking forward to seeing where it's going.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah. So finishing off what you were just saying, Sean, at the end, right? DQ finish, but they also were planting the seeds, right? Because now Kevin Owens is the prize fighter, right? He's not a joke anymore. He's like, I want to get all the gold. So at the end, the Usos beating up Drew McIntyre, and he's like, hey, Roman owes me one, right? So we'll just see where that goes.
Right on. Moving on, we'll go over the NXT card real quick. We had the NXT North American Championship match. Carmelo Hayes defeated Giovanni Vinci to retain. We had Gallus jump to Diamond Mine in a surprise attack. Cora Jade defeated Roxanne Perez. Tony D'Angelo defeated Santos Escobar in an all-or-nothing street fight. Mandy Rose defeated Zoe Stark to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Bron Breakker defeated J.D. McDonough to retain his title. And looks like that's it on that. Any thoughts on NXT? I know Bob and Joey are big NXT guys. Bob, go ahead.
Well, I thank Joey for getting me onto NXT, but it was another good week of NXT here. I thought the opening match with Carmelo Hayes and Giovanni Vinci was a great way to start off the show. Lots of high-flying moves between the two guys. And then I thought the second best match was the Santos and Tony guy, right, Joey?
Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo, Mafia Man himself.
Correct. I thought that match was a phenomenal match between the two guys. We'll see where Santos goes because he lost the match and now it looks like he's leaving NXT. So we'll see him soon on the main roster, hopefully after Clash of the Castle. Overall, still another strong NXT. Go ahead, Joey.
Something about NXT too, and this obviously wouldn't show up in the match results, but NXT UK is apparently being, I don't want to say dissolved, but more so evolved into what is reportedly called NXT Europe. They released about 10 to 12 people that have been in NXT UK for a long time. Notable guys like Trent Seven, Flash Morgan Webster, Mark Andrews were actually cut this week, released. And so as a result, certain people came in, such as Tyler Bates, Gallus, who's a pretty big faction over there. The formerly B. Priestley, now known as Blair Davenport, showed up as well. And now there's going to be a Worlds Collide pay-per-view actually in the same day as All Out. I don't know if it's earlier in the day or maybe at the same time.
It's a lot earlier in the day. I believe it's like at 3 or 2 o'clock our time.
Nice. And so I really like that they're doing that earlier in the day to lead into it because that's going to get a lot of traction given that is such a big weekend right now for Labor Day weekend. So I'm excited that they actually are doing more crossover with it. I don't know. I think they're going to try to do it in 2023 with NXT Europe. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm just happy that they're doing something different with the company now, especially after a big pay-per-view like that, to really push guys and girls that have been really busting their butts, especially a guy like Tyler Bate in the company for, 6-7 years, and he's only 25. He legit was like 18 or 19 when he first won the belt, and he needs to be utilized more. And so having them come over, even if just for a excursion like Takeshita did for AEW, I'm really excited for. the last Worlds Collide, which was like the last pay-per-view prior to COVID, really, in WWE, was, I thought, excellent. And so to get another one, I'm really excited for as well.
Just a small note to some of those appearances, Joey. I think one of them was a spoiler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's a preview of my bone to pick for later on.
Got it.
Tyler Bate came out as the UK champion, even though that episode hasn't aired yet. Very much like a WCW tape delay blunder, or just saying who really cares. But yeah, that was a spoiler for that, strangely. Go ahead, Sean.
Just a quick question. Does that mean there's going to be more like UK representation in the meantime on that main NXT roster until NXT Europe gets aired?
I think
nice.
At least for the next few weeks. The show is literally the same day as All Out, so that's 2 weeks from now. I hope so, especially for certain people. Only about maybe 6 people showed up, but they were all obviously NXT UK people. So I hope that they're at least in the mix. They've dabbled in the past with that. And I think it'll definitely help, especially with how they've utilized people like Natalia, AJ Styles, the Mysterios to do like cameos, but to have a more consistent excursion, if you want to call it that, I'd be all for, especially.
Cool. All right, we'll move on to SmackDown here real quick. Looks like Ronda Rousey got arrested to start the show. Big deal there. Toxic Attraction made their SmackDown debut. They defeated Natalia and Sonya Deville to move on to the semifinals of the Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. We had Hit Row return. I think there was a couple people who wanted to talk about this. I'll have them interject there at the end. Sheamus ended up winning the Fatal 5-Way match to win an Intercontinental title opportunity at Clash at the Castle. The Viking Raiders gave the New Day a Viking funeral. Sounds pretty whack. Liv Morgan defeated Shotzi. Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns got it on, apparently. And that was it. Any thoughts on that? Bobby?
Again, to cap off for WWE this week, they gave me 3. This is being the 3rd great show for this week. It was an amazing show. Again, I normally don't watch SmackDown, but when I tuned in this week, it was great show to watch this week. Pardon my mix-up there. I thought the 5-Way was a phenomenal match. Probably, yeah, it's gonna be my match of the week between the 5 guys. But Sami Zayn in Canada, the crowd was hot. They really made me believe in Sammy, which I love that. We need more emotion from WWE to give us, like, to make me believe again. And I really believe that Sammy might win. He lost to Sheamus, which in story, yeah, I'm gonna want it more later on. And hey, we're gonna get Gunther and Sheamus at Clash of the Castle. That's gonna be
That'd be a wild one.
And I also did enjoy seeing Toxic Attraction on SmackDown, more women's wrestling, and they're building the tag team division. And then, yeah, overall, it was a great show, guys. JT?
Yeah, I agree with Bob. That match, when I was watching it, Fatal 5-Way, I had a little bit of CBD oil in my system, but that match was fire. I rewatched it again, and it is fire. Just usually, any triple threats, Fatal 4-Ways, 5-Ways, they get super messy, right? But the pacing for that match was perfect, and I love how like Sammy, we had to go back, to the back, so now the crew's, I was like booing, and now they're, the energy levels high, now it's like middle, now it's like down low. Then towards the end, you see him walking out, and then the energy levels just went up to 100. Man,
that's how good story should go.
That is great, like storytelling. If you're just listening to just the crowd, and I think every wrestler knows that when someone's having a good match, you gotta listen to the crowd, right? Another thing I don't really like is Ronda Rousey. Every time she speaks, it doesn't sound like she believes in what she's saying, right? A good example for a person that's improved, Roman Reigns. earlier Roman Reigns, every time you see him talk, it just sounds like he's just talking really monotone. He has that low voice, but it's just nothing that he believes in.
It's
But
got power to it.
yes, but now you can just 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 powerful man, powerful voice. Just everyone loves him in Montreal. Okay, Sean.
One early chef's kiss for the Bailey and Michael Cole interaction throughout the tag team match. I was very entertained there. The Fatal 5-Way match, a lot of fun, especially the Sami Zayn pop. Kind of didn't expect it at part of me, considering his momentum of late. But hopefully they do something with that going forward. And lastly, Hit Row's rap. So cringe. I was just listening to it. It was rough. If there's any time to rely on some writers, that might have been the time for them.
Rich, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. The Hit Row thing was bad. And that's not going to dampen the entire conversation, because shout out to the Montreal crowd. Shout out to the Canadian fans, because it's been over 2 years since they have came up to Canada. So that was definitely a hot crowd. They were into it. You know, the Sami Zayn homecoming that is an early chef's kiss as well. Great production, but damn, we could have stopped the Hit Row thing. Like, my gosh. I mean, there have been actors that have played rappers. For instance, there's a show on Stars called P-Valley. There's a rapper by the name of Lil Murder, and he's got some bangers and he's got some hits, and he's not a rapper in real life. Top dollar, no. I was rooting for you last week. Now Joey is cackling in the background. Like, you let a brother down. Like, I can't even rep you, bro. Like, I hope you can turn yourself around, but damn, bro. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Joey.
Well, I didn't know how long you would realize that top dollar is really pennies. I guess it's taken a week.
It is a one-off. It is a one-off.
So I'm curious to hear, and unfortunately he's not here, but how Brian reacts to this with whatever trash comes out of Penny's mouth next week. And of course he's spouted off again on social media or something related to Mark Henry's podcast about how people didn't respect him or trust him. You know, he's not really a nuisance behind doors or a struggle. And again, nobody has come to really defend him. Mark kind of acknowledged his frustrations, but Top Dollar once again writing checks that his rap cannot cash. And so I think this is just showing us again that, like, I think J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys could have done a better rap than Top Dollar and the crew could have. If you haven't seen Trailer Park Boys, big recommendation to that, by the way. Know what I'm saying? So as a result of that, I'm just happy that it's already being shown that this is really, I think, Triple H's first big mistake in terms of hiring back people is Hit Row as a result. So I'm happy that people are seeing the light and realizing that this was not a good move. Maybe they can be salvaged in the ring, but my goodness, hire somebody that was just on AEW, like Lil Scrappy. Hire him to write the raps then or something. Give him a producer credit. I don't know. Sean, go ahead, man. That's what I got. Thank you, Richie Buckets, for seeing the light.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a mistake to hire in the back, but if there was ever a time to say, like, they need some leadership representation in their group, last Friday was that time. Maybe not so the first week, but that second week, man, the Swerve absence is very apparent now.
Yeah, I'll echo the same thing, Sean, because damn. Uh, I'm a man that can, swallow his pride a little bit. I was excited for Top Dollar and Hit Row. So, but let's hope this is a one-off. But that was bad. Like I felt bad for my Canadian brethren and sisters, because that was terrible. That's all I got to say about it. But overall, great crowd. We'll just let that blunder go.
Muted. I did want to add one quick thing. News came out today. Double J apparently released by the WWE. Was it made official? I know there's a lot of rumors and a lot of random pages tweeting that, but it looks like he is gone from the company. Moving on to AEW, we had another gimmick Dynamite on Wednesday. This one commemorating the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon series that's coming out. So we started off with CM Punk coming out, and well, there's a lot of controversy about this one. First things first, he called out Hangman, which according to reports online was not supposed to happen. Nobody knew it was going to happen. And according to the interwebs, that was going back to previous comments Hangman made about Punk in one of their promo battles leading into their match in which Punk had won the championship. And I think Hangman said some things on a podcast or an interview as well about veterans in general. And then we had Mox come out, and they brawled for a good 3 or 4 minutes. Obviously after their verbal sparring, but that didn't seem like it wanted to end. It's a little much in my opinion. We had the 2 out of 3 falls match in which Bryan Danielson beat Mr. Daniel Garcia. We had a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat appearance as well. Moving on, we have Private Party taking on Swerve in Our Glory in a match on Rampage this Friday, so that'll interview with them. Tony Nese was about to have a match, and Moxley attacked him from behind and called out Punk again and continued their brawling. Not really necessary in my opinion. I think the one and done deal was good enough. We had the Varsity Blondes versus the Gun Club, and the Gun Club just beat the shit out of them. It wasn't even a match. It was maybe a minute or two in length, if that. We had Billy Ass come out, and the Gun Club turned on him. And we had the Acclaim come out to make the save. Scissor me, daddy. We had Jungle Boy come out and call a promo on Mr. Christian Cage and beat the shit out of him. We had Toni Storm versus Kylan King. It was a pretty decent match. Kylan held her own there, but as we all would have assumed, Toni Storm got the victory there. Fuck you, Joey. And then for our main event, we had Andrade El Idolo, Rush and Dragon Lee versus the Young Bucks and their mystery partner. Guys, I wonder who was going to be the partner all along.
Can I say it?
Say it.
Kenny Omega. I wish he said Rainmaker.
That's what I thought he was going to say. I was like, you're going to say the wrong shit, dude. We're all here for it, though. And not only did Kenny return, but Don Callis returned as well. And Don Callis was on commentary. I was kind of surprised about that because we haven't heard or seen anything from Don, I don't think, in a long time. Actually, since Kenny lost the championship. So, pretty decent match, I would say. Kenny's still obviously a little banged up. Had a brace on his shoulder. Was wearing a compression sleeves and everything as well, or a compression top, I should say. But he came ready to go. Hopefully, he's good to go. For good now. But I don't want to say he's 100% by any means. Obviously, the Young Bucks and Kenny got the victory after that. And then after that, we had Andrade attack Dragon Lee, and when he did that, Dragon Lee's mask fell off. And then they cut everything. They showed Kenny right away, and then that was the end of the show. So, post Dynamite thoughts, gentlemen. Go ahead, Sean.
Honestly, if Hangman didn't want those comments made about Punk, he probably shouldn't have done those impromptu, those improv statements during their feud either. In that case, he had it coming. Yeah, it sucks because Punk all but probably buried him with those statements, but if the reports are correct that this was a receipt for Hangman having gone into business for himself during their feud, then I'd say it was all but fair for Punk, because in that business, eye for an eye. When you aren't doing business with one another, especially with a veteran, the veteran is going to take it personally, historically speaking. The Moxley stuff, it kind of started to make more sense to me as the show went on after they announced that it's no longer our pay-per-view match, to ramp up the feud for them as quickly as possible, because to make that dynamic work, that, oh, they can't wait till the pay-per-view, so we're going to do this next week. Tune in and stuff. I think I lost my other thought, so I'll just pass it over to Richie.
All right, thank you, Sean. So, as far as storytelling goes, they needed star power. Dynamite definitely needed star power. Punk elevated it up to another level because the way that he can promo on the spot, whether that was a shoot promo or a receipt towards Hangman on Page, it definitely worked. It definitely got people talking, got us talking about it. So Punk is doing what he's got to do in order to, move the numbers and raise the needle. I know people are saying, oh, it's still under 1 million people that are watching, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, this was a well-suited Dynamite. I'm happy that Kenny Omega is back. I am curious to see what goes along for this unification match for the AEW World Championship, especially it being next week. So you're having this match that we were supposedly promised at All Out pay-per-view going on free television. So my theory, and I guess everybody's theory, is that MJF is going to come back, screw it up somehow, or long-term storytelling. I put this in the group chat about how CM Punk is taking over the Pinnacle and having MJF on the way out. That's another theory, but on Wednesday, we'll definitely get our answers. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Go ahead, Joey.
This can be a larger conversation entirely, but I would love if at the end of like the Dynamite conversation, depending on how much time our editor allows us, to talk about the rumors about CM Punk and the backstage drama, specifically involving Cabana, now with Hangman, and just the idea of how much long-term benefit Punk has given the company, or lack thereof. Rich, you kind of alluded to it with the still under 1 million viewers, for instance, and that seems to sort of be like that bar of, did they get over 1 million? Is the peak 1.1 million? Is the low end like in 50,000? And so I just think it's a worthy conversation to have, because he's obviously not the highest paid guy in the company, certainly top 3. I think we can all agree on that. And so I just like to have a deeper conversation if after other AEW comments are made, if we have time for it. JT, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I just want to say, for a couple of months we were kind of lacking that superstar power that makes people want to watch Dynamite or Rampage, right? But now finally we got CM Punk. Now everyone's hyped up about it and amped up. Now we got Kenny Omega back. I'm a little worried about him, but hey, maybe he's working all of us, right? So the final person to add back into that picture is obviously MJF, right? Because MJF and CM Punk, they make Tarantino movies together, and it's beautiful, right? I mean, hey, us guys went to the show for the day before Thanksgiving. It was like a 30-minute promo, and it was the most entertaining like thing to see and just to witness. And you can tell people around us phones out and everyone was standing up. That's the beauty of a superstar that's larger than life that
So good, I had a
AEW
panic
needs to
attack.
have more of. But anyways, hey Nick, why don't you go next?
You gotta unmute yourself, bro.
Unmute, brother.
Thanks. I know. I'm trying to find it. I'm on my phone. It's tough. Nah, I'm gonna let Bob talk first. Bob's been waiting, and
No,
I'm just
Nick,
gonna.
honestly,
No.
I want to hear your opinion on this. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I
no.
haven't seen you in like 3 weeks, bro. Where the fuck you been?
Hey, I'm just. I've been busy acknowledging my tribal chief behind me, and the wise man.
That's right. God damn it.
So I've just been vibing. I mean, I'm gonna just hammer the point of Punk just is the GOAT. There's no, he wakes up in the morning and pisses excellence.
Okay, Ricky Bobby.
I mean, the guy's back on TV and he just gets views, right? Whether it's YouTube, whether it's TV, he draws a rating, right? He is the most he's the draw. He is the draw. And the fact that, hold on, we're not even talking about Omega yet, but we're going to talk about Omega. Fucking Kenny Omega being back is massive. Massive. And you watch his match and he's like, don't get me wrong. He could definitely be out of shape or he could be a little banged up still or not 1,000 or, 100%, whatever. But this man was wrestling for 3 years with vertigo and a bum shoulder and all that stuff. And what did he do? He told the story in the ring about how he was out of shape, how he looked awful. He told that story, and that story might come along in the end of him being tired. And ultimately when they face the Dark Order in the final at All Out, which we're all going to be there pretty much, I think, for the most part, maybe not Bob, because I mean, he's got a broken foot, but you know what? The guy's the fucking man. Getting all of that back right before the pay-per-view. I mean, the only thing that kind of sucks is you don't have the Red Dragon, you don't have Adam Cole back yet, but you have your main guys, right? You have Punk, you have Moxley, which whatever, they're probably going to have another match at All Out. Something's going to happen. Hangman, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Hangman and Joey loves to talk about how great the rankings are in AEW and how they're so meaningful. Loves it. So
Opposite, but continue.
Number one. He's number one right now. He was number one as of Wednesday.
Why? See, hold on, pause. Why can't you just let me be sarcastic for 2 minutes?
Because I knew where you're going with it.
No, not you, Chad. Joey. You
Continue.
You dustpan.
Idiot.
Genghis is the usual phrase.
No,
Go ahead.
it's dustpan.
Go
It
ahead.
will always be dustpan. Listen.
Let's go.
Go, baby.
Listen. Oh my God. Hangman's number one. And he was number one before Dynamite, if I remember correctly, right?
I think so. I think I had posted the rankings going into
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know. That's a whole other conversation that we can get into later. I'm done talking because Joey ruined it.
Hangman's number one. Hobbs is 2. Daniel Garcia 3. Jay Lethal 4. Darby Allin is 5th. Has Darby had that many matches? Have they been dark matches?
Nah.
How's Hangman number one? When was the last time he had a match?
That's a good question.
on the BTE,
Oh my
he's
god.
talking with Dark Order in catering.
That's the match.
That was the match. It was a promo.
The only 3 people, it realistically should be Hobbs, Daniel Garcia, then Jay Lethal, and the rest of them should be under that. See? Rankings don't fucking mean shit.
They honestly don't, guys. This week, with all the drama that's coming out, my honest opinion, I think everybody's getting worked. This whole CM Punk is the bad guy picture. It's honestly, I don't know what their angle is here. I think because that MJF shoot promo that everybody loves so much, that turned him babyface. And so now we're gonna have to switch CM Punk as a heel. And I'm not liking it, but it's the story. I think it should be the opposite way. I think MJF should be the mega asshole heel. Not only that, guys, let me ask you guys this. Who right now are their top 3 heels on AEW television? Not including MJF because he's not on TV.
Joey.
Who? Cody's not on TV. You got
You know who it
Jericho
is.
and his JAS.
Christian Cage.
It's
Jericho
Christian Cage is for
Switchblade-
sure one of them.
Switchblade Jay White.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's not even on TV.
He's not even on TV.
Dude, they need,
Tasha Steelz.
guys, AEW needs more heels, and switching MJF as a babyface, I'm not digging it. I'd rather fucking boo the guy, but I see all the internet, and I've seen some of you guys say, MJF needs to come back as a face, and I'm like, no. He's an asshole. He's a heel. And I think this, I don't like it, but they're doing it, and that's why this whole CM Punk drama is coming up to light. So we can hate CM Punk. Chad, you posted that dude burning CM Punk's shirt. Come on, guys.
That was bad. That's a real mark.
Not being fucking total marks, and really, I think this is the new way to get everybody talking. The internet drama, you know? So I think it's a total work. Get CM Punk heel, have MJF show up to Chicago. They need a way for him to show up to Chicago and get the babyface reaction in CM Punk's hometown.
Hold on. I know I'm cutting the line, but no. MJF talks so much shit about Chicago. There's no way that we're going to cheer him.
But
There's
Rich,
no fucking way that we're cheering.
That's why
MJF.
they're making us. Well, I was going to go with this. We got
We're
this,
gonna be like, oh shit.
we got this huge title match on Dynamite this coming week, right? Why are they giving it away? So they can add Adam Page to the match at All Out, make it a 3-way. So you got two
That's what I was
baby faces.
thinking too.
You got 2 baby faces. You got Adam Page and John Moxley, and now you got CM Punk. Guys, I know, dude. I don't want to cheer for it, but they're gonna want to make CM Punk the mega heel in Chicago. If not, maybe the Dynamite after. I don't like it. I'd rather have MJF come back and be the asshole heel. But I feel like this whole drama is leading towards this heel CM Punk. I just see it's coming from left field, and I don't like it. Go ahead, Joey.
So to get back kind of, and Bob, I really liked your comments about what you think will happen given the MJF essentially face turn, and now he hasn't been seen for multiple months now. But I'm going to call on each person, and I just want a yes, no, or in the middle to the question. It's been a year since Punk was there. We can all agree his initial impact was insane in terms of viewership, in terms of just buzz, etc. A year, though, from now, so like around this time, long term, do we think he's done more good, more harm, or more bad, or it's in the middle? I'm going to say in the middle. Bob, what do you say?
Good.
Sean?
I lean upper middle.
Chad?
I would probably say upper middle. In terms of ratings, yes, maybe buzz, but in terms of storylines, definitely middle.
Richie Buckets?
I'm gonna say middle low. Honestly, because of the heat with the backstage, particularly with the Young Bucks, and I see Nick's face. Yeah, Young Bucks and Colt Cabana. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty shitty. So middle low.
JT?
Mid.
And Nick?
I don't know if I get a vote because that guy's the man. So I'm gonna say good.
That's okay. Your vote counts. All right.
Yeah, shut up, Rich.
So we're pretty much on average, I'd say, with that, a mid to maybe like 66% good, like the upper mid category. Sean, go ahead, and then I think we'll move on to non-AEW stuff.
Now, if all that's the case, then I would say a double turn between him and MJF would be for the best of the company. Because if you go back, babyface MJF works too. You go back to his, not only the Long Island thing, but after Punk made the reference to like making fun of him as a kid for visiting him or going to get his autograph and stuff, like his whole promo to get the crowd to sympathize for him worked. And honestly, like if that's the case, like I don't see any reason why a babyface MJF would be bad for business, and a Punk heel turn would help elevate him to be their face of the company going forward.
Sean, my only complaint is, like I mentioned earlier, who are your top heels? You guys complained earlier, oh, I'm tired of Chris Jericho. Oh, I'm tired of the JAS.
I mean,
Well,
Adam
who's your
Cole's
top
probably
main
coming
heel?
back.
Christian Cage is your other guy, right? But he has a story with Jungle Boy. And again, these are your two ex-former WWE guys. What about that's why I feel like MJF should have been the staple main heel for this company. And you got plenty of other babyface. What about Darby, guys? He's been put on the back burner with Sting and Nero. Like, guys, I just feel like MJF is our heel for the company, and this is just a total 180. I don't like it, but it seems like the crowd are going to eat it up with the whole drama, and I feel like very soon everybody's going to start hating on CM Punk, and I'm not one of them.
Darby just won a match. He just beat Brody in the coffin match.
No, but before that, what has Darby really been doing?
Nothing.
Diving off shit. Getting tattoos.
So again, I propose, who are your top heel guys? Who do you guys see being the top heels on?
Jade Cargill.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah, she's a heel, but I don't know. I feel like enough people like her. She's almost like a tweener, you know?
Britt Baker.
Britt Baker hasn't been on TV that much either, right?
Wrestlers. God damn.
Honestly, Adam Cole would work if they keep him away from Orange Cassidy and crew.
But we've already seen Adam Cole in the title picture, and that was old news, you know.
Well, transformation though.
Okada.
Christ. All right, let's move on to Rampage, shall we? So we had Claudio kick off the show, and we had Mr. Dustin Rhodes come out and challenge Claudio for the belt. So we're going to be having that potentially going on here. We had Ruby Soho and Ortiz backstage with Lexi Nair. Moving on. Swerve in Our Glory defeated Private Party for the tag belts. Let's see. We had the FTW title match between Hook and the Reality Zach Clayton, and that was a squash. We had House of Blacks, Buddy Matthews versus Serpentico, and let's see. Buddy obviously won that, and it looks like Miro came out after that match with Malachi Black's mask, so see what happens going down the line with that. And then Penelope Ford versus Athena. Athena defeated Penelope in the match. And our main event in the Trios title tournament quarterfinal, the Best Friends versus the Trustbusters, not the Thrustbusters. Thrustbusters would be a better name, though. And Best Friends won that match. So, guys, how are we feeling about that?
Rampage is always the throwaway show. They actually put a little bit of effort in this, trying to like at least pace it. Have Claudio come out there with Dustin Rhodes, but it's truly a throwaway show, in my honest opinion. Jade came and had a sledgehammer and destroyed Athena's gear thing, and then it's a throwaway for me. I'm not excited to watch Rampage, especially when there's spoilers. Yeah, I mean, it was mid, as MJF would say.
Wait for it. Wait. Where's the button? There you go. Nick, go ahead. Unmute first, though. Thank you.
There's just the amount of time given to everything. It just was short and quick. It was like I was on TikTok, and every time I'd swipe up, it's just something like instant, right? Like the squash match, the Athena, everything was just so like, to me, it just felt like all smushed together. Like it was fine, but I swear to God, that man, Buddy Matthews, goddamn, he is a star, and he's gotta be that man's a star. I don't know about you guys, but that man needs a little push. In my opinion, I think all House of Black needs a push because they're just like all three of them are great. obviously they're who they face next week. The Dark Order in the thing.
Yeah,
In the trio.
that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
Both of
I'm
those
sure.
guys need a push. So who do they push more? I feel like House of Black is much more credible in a sense, but Dark Order also really hasn't had any sort of push lately. So I feel like all of us are going to be disappointed no matter what happens in that match, because those 6 men that are going to be in that match, I mean, they all deserve it realistically. You know, maybe I don't really think the Bucks and Kenny needed to be in this tournament right away. Granted, this is kind of the reason why, you know, those are out to begin with, and even not having Adam Cole and Red Dragon in it, you know, missed opportunity with that. So I just wanted to throw that opinion in there.
No, that's the exact reason why the Dark Orders in this whole thing is because Adam Cole and Red Dragon are hurt. Because it would have been the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole and Red Dragons, and then Adam Cole and the Red Dragons would have been the trios champions. So hopefully it is Dark Order. Bucks and Omega don't need it. Best person in House of Black is Julia Hart. If you haven't seen her wrestle in Dark Elevation, her promo needs a lot of work, but at the end of the day, her fiery attitude on the YouTube show is great. We can move on to Impact because that was so much better than Rampage.
Yes, Impact. Rich, myself, Brian, and John all got to go to this show. So the first match, and this was a fucking insane match. Trey Miguel versus Laredo Kid versus Ray Horace versus Black Taurus in a fatal 4-way match. Holy shit. This was insane. I'm just going to probably say, I'm pretty sure I said this was my favorite match by far. Black Taurus ended up winning the match, but fuck, I can't even explain it. Like, you just had to be there. That's how incredible it was. Rich, you want to add?
Yeah, if you have not seen the vlog, I believe there is the spot where Trey Miguel does the Hurricane Rana from inside the ring, outside of the ring. Man almost dies, but holy shit, this is Lucha. This was my favorite match of the night too. I think we were all with John and Brian and you, Chad. This was probably our favorite. I'm not speaking for you, John. You can talk for yourself, but we were all lit for this match.
Great match by far. Next match we had Kenny King versus Heath, in which Heath had the win in this match. We had Honor No More gang up on Heath after the match, and he ended up escaping, actually, like, right by us, I'm pretty sure, right? I think he jumped over a guardrail or something and left. Joey?
I just want to bring acknowledgement that, especially on video watching it, that ref for sure botched that prior to the finish 3 count, and Chad, Richie Buckets, and Brian were right on him, so much so that in the video there's the point where you see 3 gentlemen standing up yelling at the ref. I don't know what you said, but it was clearly visible, and
we said that was
like
yeah, we were
JT
screaming our
sitting there
asses off.
like he's a disappointed dad, just looking after his kids. Was quite the funny sight to see. I sent it in the group chat too. So what did you say, Rich? I'm sorry.
No, what we said was that was 3 because because it was clearly
his hand smacked the mat too.
Yeah,
like that is like go back to ref school, or like just roll with it and say that's the finish, because the same guy ended up winning a minute later. Yeah. That's all I got for that. I just wanted to acknowledge it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I almost forgot about that. We could see the count, but everybody on the opposite side could actually see his hand go down. So we were like, wait, what the fuck just happened? And then all hell broke loose and we started bitching about it. So third match, we had Killer Kelly versus Savannah Evans. Killer Kelly won. Fourth match, Mike Bailey versus Chris Bay for the Impact X Division Championship. Mike Bailey retained. And next matchup, Eddie Edwards versus Sammy Callahan versus Moose versus Steve Macklin versus Rich Swann versus Bandito in a 6-way elimination match. The winner of this match will face Josh Alexander for the Impact title at Bound for Glory. This one was pretty wild as well. This one could have went any way, like just with the amount of guys in this match. I mean, all of them were pretty big names. It was fun to see them kind of bicker back and forth. Moose had a couple funny spots in the match. I think going back at it with Rich Swann and Macklin. And Eddie Edwards ended up winning this. I did not predict that. I didn't think Eddie Edwards would win, but he did.
And who did you prefer to win?
Well, obviously I wanted Bandito to win, but he's not a Impact guy, so he was for sure not. I kind of figured it would have been Swann or Callahan, personally. Okay. I kind of figured one of those two would be the winner.
Rich or JT, if you guys had anybody else in mind for that to win that match?
Yeah, I mean, if Bandito was signed with Impact, it would have been him. But ultimately, I thought it was going to be Rich Swann. Eddie Edwards definitely was surprised with Honor No More. Like, you know, I don't know. It was weird. But
JT?
Yeah, I thought Sammy Callahan was going to win it. That was my number one pick. Then second pick was going to be Bandito. Even if he's not an Impact guy, it would have been cool seeing that championship back in like AAA or whatever. So, Joey?
Going back to an earlier point, I've been a big fan of Killer Kelly since pretty much, I think I first saw her in NXT UK or just regular NXT. This girl owns her gimmick of just like being a tough girl. The mouth guards and ponytails are ready to go, and she's just ready to fight all the time. The fact that it's taking her this long to be on a main show can hopefully consistently, in my opinion, is a travesty. So Killer Kelly getting more TV time is somebody to keep an eye on, in my opinion. I think within a year, if all goes well, she could easily be the Impact champion because that girl is legit and she just owns it. And I feel like no one's really as like tough or as serious and plays it so well as her. We were talking about Ronda's promos feeling forced. While Killer Kelly hasn't really talked that much on Impact yet, she's someone that feels authentic. So I'm happy to see her get some shine.
That was her first match, right, Joey?
No, I think
second.
It's like only her third week, I think, in the company. But yeah.
Well, guys, I just want to add, hey, I'm happy that you guys had a good time on Saturday. Yeah, I caught the vlog, and man, you guys had a blast. JT, man, you guys are savages out there.
Dude, we were starting so many chants. JT was on top of shit.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I just want to say it's funny to see Brian saying that he hates Honor No More, and then he's like, "Oh, actually, you know what? I do like Honor No More."
And then hates
he did
him at the end of the night.
He did the same thing with Bullet Club too, and he's like, "No. Actually, the newer talent, I like."
Hey, JT, how many times did Brian turn face and heel that night? Oh my god,
at least 5 times.
Yeah, he's like Big Show, right?
Definitely flipping. And then
my god, I caught the vlog. Go ahead, Rich.
The first match with the women, it was Rosemary versus who is it? God, but
Jessica Havoc. Is that her name?
No, it had to been like Deanna or Chelsea Green or
no. It was a singles match. Anyway,
was that part? I don't think that was part of this episode.
Yeah, I think it's for
it was before.
It was
yeah. Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out.
Spoilers.
I was gonna mention. Oh, sorry, Rich.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
I was gonna mention from the vlog's viewpoint. It looked like that fatal 4-way was later on in the show, and that was the first match that we got this week on Impact. Is that how it went?
Which one?
The fatal 4-way match. Was that later on in the show?
Yeah. It was later on the show. Well, yeah, because they've done a lot of taping, so there were 2 shows.
So this was the second show. So this show that played this week was the second show we saw.
Okay.
So whatever else Rich is talking about was actually the first match, which is probably this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was confused by that too. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's why
These
I kind of
were
wanted
at the end of the night. Yeah. So we tried not to totally spoil that, but
okay. Sorry, y'all.
That looks like that's next week, according to their Twitter.
Yeah. Anyways, great time with Impact. Again, thank you, Bobby, for having us see the light. Hell of a time. It's one of the for this year I would say a consensus our favorite event that we've gone to.
And we still got 4 months, so we'll see what the rest of the remaining months have for us, right?
Got big week coming up here, 2 weeks. Well, a week and a half, basically.
Well, we do have NWA. They have a show next week. Probably not many of us going to be catching it, but then the week after that, that's the week for you guys.
Where's NWA at?
NWA.
St. Louis again. It's been
Yeah.
at St. Louis the last couple of years.
Joe, is it number 74?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Bob, I think it's time for a chef's kiss. Would you agree?
Is it that time? All
Yes,
right.
chef.
Let's
Yes,
go.
chef,
Let's
indeed.
run it this week. Joey, let's go. Let's start with you, buddy. What was your chef kiss for this week?
So my chef's kiss for this week, and we've done where like a person, Jeff Jarrett, for instance, has had a great week. He didn't have a great week this week, though, unfortunately. But Toxic Attraction, in my opinion, had an excellent overall week. All 3 members specifically. We mentioned earlier about the women, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, getting that final spot, that NXT representation in the tag title slot. And the Montreal crowd was great all night. And these 2 ladies, in probably the biggest crowd that they've wrestled in front of, to my knowledge, they're pretty young in the business too. They walked out there with the swagger and confidence during their entrance like they've been in front of these crowds their whole life. NXT crowds are pretty small, maybe about the same size as the Impact crowd we were at last week. And these girls didn't lose a step. There was one minor botch by Gigi during the match that Sonya helped cover up. But besides that, they owned it. JC Jane especially was just doing great character work, ended up winning. Their facials were excellent. Everything about these 2 girls during that match, they did not look like rookies out there, in my opinion. And the fact that that was their first big TV match, big chef's kiss to that. Mandy Rose. Specifically, I thought that this was her best match I've ever seen from her. And there was minimal interference. Like the other 2 girls were kicked out pretty early on in that match. And Bob or others can jump in. I don't know if I've seen a finish involve this before. We've seen the classic where it's been, somebody has brass knuckles and the other guy gets it and boom, big punch. But I've never seen it with a knee brace before, where somebody's knee brace is used against them later on by somebody. JT, hop in if you've seen that before. I don't think I have.
During the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano feud, right?
But
Yeah.
I know the crutch was a big one for that. Did Johnny put on Ciampa's knee brace at one point?
You guys remember? So like 5 years ago.
The crutch was a big thing, but I don't know
Yeah.
if the knee brace was used by Johnny per se, like on his knee.
Joey, I have this weird memory. I feel like JT's on I feel like it was the brace that he used.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. But I mean, 5 years, though, is the earliest we can think of. And so for the ladies to pull this out, and Zoe sold the hell out of that shot at the end to lose the match. So great job by all 3 girls in pretty prime position. So I'm happy that they're getting that shine. Bob, what about you?
Well, Joey, actually, I'm gonna keep it with the NXT theme this week, guys.
That's my boy.
NXT had a theme show this week. It was NXT Heatwave. Heatwave, a pay-per-view theme or a theme itself that we've seen in the past with the ECW moniker. And this week's opening intro had Paul Heyman voicing it. And I just thought, man, that's awesome. You brought back Paul Heyman to voice the opening intro to a pay-per-view that he used to run every year, and he's putting over the young talent. So that was my chef kiss of the week, having Paul come in, do the voice for the opening package for NXT Heatwave. We also have a combo this week. And Joey, what's our combo for this week? It involves the tag team, right?
Kind of a good follow-up from the prior week where we're advocating for more tag teams. We had the tag team girls earlier. The Miz and Ciampa match against Cedric and Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
I thought this was an excellent match, and the chemistry between these guys, which maybe Miz and Ciampa have been teaming on the house circuit reels, I don't know. But for their first televised match, I thought that this was excellent. All 4 guys, Cedric and Ali, I don't know if they've been teaming maybe on main event, but for the first big time teaming for both sides, they did really good. And we've been talking about wanting the bulls for the tag team division. You don't do it with Hit Row. You do it with these guys specifically. That's just my perspective. I thought they did a great job. Ciampa with the low drop kicks multiple times during the match. And Miz has always done better when he's had a partner, somebody to play off of. Morrison, the B team, Maurice, even his wife. And so Ciampa to be able to get this out of Miz, who's normally a pretty, I'd say only passable wrestler, to get more out of him. The tag team division, I think, is coming into potentially a new renaissance with these teams and the added emphasis on championships. It's been the singles mid-card titles. Let's get those tag titles some shine and hopefully break them apart. Bob, what do you have to add on to that?
I absolutely agree with you, Joey. I thought, guys, we got to see Mustafa Ali and Cedric, two guys that we don't really see. I mean, they kind of pushed Mustafa a couple months back, but that was because, hey, he was coming to his hometown, and I just feel like WWE was kind of giving him a bone. But now that Vince is out of the picture, Triple H is in, he's going to go ahead and he's going to put Ali and Cedric on TV, which is great. I'm happy to see the pairing. Not only that, they've been great on, I remember back in the day when they were on 205 Live. I caught a couple episodes, and man, those boys were turning it up. So happy to see them on TV. They look happy now. They don't look just like, oh, we're going through the motion. They look happy. The Miz and Ciampa, it's a weird teaming, but maybe it's character development for Ciampa. That's just how I'm looking at it. It's weird. I would prefer if Johnny would come in, but Triple H would have to throw in some money for Johnny to come in. So we'll see. But again, at least it's a tag team, and they look like a tag team. They got the uniforms. Again, one thing that I brought in the past, like these guys gotta look more like a tag team. At least the Miz and Ciampa look like a tag team. And the women's tag tournament, again, I wasn't too optimistic about it, but this week with Asuka and Alexa Bliss against Doudrop and Nikki Cross, I thought it was a good match. And then nice to see Toxic Attraction getting the call up and being involved in this tag tournament, because I mentioned it looked like a bunch of women thrown together. Toxic Attractions have not been thrown together. They've been teaming for a whole year now. They've actually were former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Two times. Thank you, Joey. So I'm happy that they got this opportunity. And yeah, it's going to be a new landscape for the tag team division in WWE, and I'm all for it.
But before Richie Buckets gives his, one thing I want to add on, Bob, is that even though, for instance, Cedric and Ali didn't have matching gear, they have such a similar flair and style. I think in terms of 205 Live, the two biggest baby faces that stuck out from that show were Cedric and Ali. And as far as heels, it was, I think, Buddy Murphy and, of course, Pac. And so
Tony
Nese as well. I think he's really kind of been wasted for a long time, comparatively speaking. He does his role well, but teaming up those guys that don't have much to do in a tag team, I think is going to pay dividends. Richie Buckets, go ahead with a potential chef's kiss or a response to ours.
No, your chef's kiss was impeccable. Mwah. Fine cuisine. So my chef's kiss is, from the G1. You know who won the G1?
Tell us, Weatherman.
I wonder who it is.
So if you have an opportunity to watch this absolute banger of a match, my boy, Kazuchika Okada, is a G1 winner. Did you hear that? Okada.
Okada!
It's drizzling here.
Okada! Rainmaker! My boy won the G1. Happy for him. He's also on paternity leave, so props to him and his wife for bringing in his newborn son into the world. So he's on paternity leave. We will see him in the near future, but great that he gets to have opportunity to be with his family. Happy for Okada winning the G1. And that is my chef's kiss. Go see this match between him and Will Ospreay. We're not going to call the baby Drizzle, Joey.
Had to do it.
I know you did, but that is my chef's kiss. Does anyone else have a chef's kiss before we go to a bone to pick?
Well, I was gonna just add a few notes about the Punk promo. Just a couple of quotes that I guess would maybe qualify for me. obviously anytime you make fun of cowboy shit, I'm gonna say something about it. When he called Hangman coward shit for not coming out or not being a true champ, when he was spewing all that shit
Sounds
out.
like a bone to pick.
No, not even. I thought it was fun. I like when they do shit like that, especially when it's against my own guys. I'm like, okay, that was pretty solid. You gotta kind of, you have to understand that. When he called Mox the third best guy in his group and said it's a reoccurring theme in his career, that was a pretty solid zinger. And he had a couple other callbacks to like WWE days. I think he said Eddie Kingston's the second or third best Kingston he's been in a.
Second best Kingston and the third best Eddie, which I know he's referring to Eddie Guerrero there, but I don't know what other Eddie he's referring to. Maybe Eddie Edwards. I'm not sure. But Kingston's obviously Kofi.
Yeah. And then before Mox had even entered the ring, when he started playing Wild Thing, he's like, oh, it's going to be a while. I'm just going to sit here and do Snow Angels in the ring like just a total asshole. He's doing Snow Angels, and then at the part in the song where it says groovy, he's like, groovy in the microphone. Like, I just thought that was some heel shit I liked. So chef's kiss for that. Punk doing the thing.
Hey, Joey, sorry, Chad. I just want to add the other Eddie, from what I heard, was Eddie Fatu, which for you guys who don't know, that's Umaga.
Excellent choice.
Yeah. Carry on, guys.
RP.
Oh, I think Mox kissed Eddie Punk as well before they started going at it.
He did.
He pulled an Effie. That was funny.
Buddy, come on. Come on.
I was like, did he do that? I was like, oh, okay. Punk didn't like it. All right, move on. Anybody else before I start saying some more stupid shit?
Are we on bone to pick now to clarify?
Yes, we're on bone to pick now.
Richie Buckets, I think you got something to add. Go ahead, buddy.
My bone to pick, I mean, it's always a reoccurring theme. Miss Joliet, I hope your wife wins the title, but yeah, you need to get social media so that we control you, but we can't. But in all honesty, my true bone to pick is the picture in picture, and then when it goes from picture to picture to a regular ass commercial. What's up with that? I think it's like in like the second to last segment, like before, it's like, yeah, it's a picture in picture, and then it goes into full-fledged commercials. What the hell is that, Tony Khan? What the hell is that? That's my bone to pick for this week. That's it.
All right. Well, my bone to pick was the ending of the tag match on Dynamite. So I don't know if you guys remembered.
The trios or?
Yeah.
Trios.
With Kenny Omega. So I don't know if you guys remembered. Towards the ending, Rush and Andrade were about to slide in, and they got the weak ass looking Young Bucks pulling them. And Andrade and Rush are super strong guys. I don't know. It's just something, it's a little nitpicking, but I just thought it was kind of funny, and that's my bone to pick.
It's all about the details, bro. Joey?
I have two bones to pick. Both involve the treatment of championship titles. Firstly, NXT/NXT UK. When Tyler Bate showed up to confront Braun Breaker, Braun being the NXT, I guess, general or US champion, Bate was holding the NXT UK title. Someone take a guess as to how many days Bate has been champion already at that point.
I'm pretty sure we're in the negatives.
So he's in real life held at 40 days. In reality, the match where he won the title hasn't even aired. So I just don't get that. I get you want to promote Heat Wave or Worlds Collide, but then don't have him with the title. And when you're building to the match or him confronting their champion, say, I'm going to try to win the belt next week on NXT UK. Yes, we know it's kayfabe, but just use it to build it up more. Don't essentially negate 2 to 3 weeks of your show where you're having some sort of tournament or matches to crown the new champion and just be, oh, he's here already, over potentially a month in advance. Little things like that just bug me. Secondly, involving championships. Someone take a wild guess that before Clash of the Castle, where the IC belt's going to be defended on pay-per-view, the main card. Guess when the last time the IC title has been on a pay-per-view and who the champion was?
Ooh.
I know the answer, but I'm curious.
I'm going to guess
WrestleMania 37.
Who was the champion, though, Bob?
Shinsuke? Just kidding. I don't know.
Nope.
Big E or Apollo?
It was the Big E and Apollo Crews feud. That's a while ago, before what's called the Workman's title was defended on the main card of a pay-per-view. That is over a year, and that's pathetic. And AEW, sadly, is seeming to do this a bit with their TNT title. A couple times when Sammy was the champion, he wasn't defending it. He was in Jericho group stuff or 6-man matches. And now Wardlow, when the Pinnacle hasn't really been a thing for at least half a year, if not more, he's randomly teaming with FTR to face Lethal's crew.
Not only that, Joey, but they're calling themselves the Pinnacle still.
I know. And that's why, yeah. So 6 months without being Pinnacle, probably more than that, honestly. And you're having Wardlow, who was on the biggest crowd natural babyface push ever. And they've done that terribly, I think, since he beat MJF and won the title. But now at the first really big pay-per-view since being champion, he's not defending the title. Put Brody King in there to have him have a big Hossman match with. Put him against Powerhouse Hobbs maybe, or somebody else. Having him in a 6-man just so we can get that one shot of powerbombing Satnam Singh, to me, is a waste and devalues that title. So do better with championships and then being respected. That's my bone to pick with multiple companies.
When is that 6-man match, Joey? Is that
it's at All Out.
Oh, it is at All Out.
His first pay-per-view since being champion.
Fuck.
And he's not defending the belt.
I thought they would have done that on Dynamite or Rampage and say
it's scheduled for All Out.
Fuck. I didn't realize that. That's okay.
No.
Bone to pick.
Title's better.
That. Yeah, that's bad.
Yep. Any other bones to pick?
Mine would just be ranking systems in general, like we complain about every other week.
Chad, I'm kind of curious, before Richie Buckets goes, what do you, and you might have alluded to this earlier, but more bluntly, what do you think about the Hangman and Punk scenario as the biggest Hangman fan this side of the Mississippi River?
Well, I think Sean's right. If you're going to spew some shit out there, you better learn to accept it and, accept that it will be receded at some point in time. Honestly, though, I feel like Punk's just being uber sensitive in this whole case of things, at least when it comes to the Hangman deal. None of it, so they say, they do all their own promos and shit, and it's not scripted. So if it was just right off the bat on TV, I mean, maybe talk about it after the fact. But we're talking about comments that were made 2-3 months ago, right? After Punk had won the belt. And
well, honestly, did Punk have all that much time to even respond to it at that time? Because they had their match and then pretty much he got injured. So
he got injured doing stupid shit in a
match. Diving into the crowd.
Yeah. So realistically, yes, but at the same sense, it just didn't make any sense. Granted, Hangman is the number one contender, going back to my previous statement why the rankings don't mean shit right now, because Hangman hasn't had a singles match in God knows how long. Granted, I'd love for him to be in the title picture, but I don't know,
see
man.
how it work now that
Punk now that he called him out, we've also got Mox, as the interim champ. So are they rushing something for All Out? I mean, I feel like
that all signs point to MJF for me. I think Tony Khan wants to make it the biggest buy rate for pay-per-view buys as best he can. So he's going to stack it.
But how are they going to do that in 2 weeks, though? That's what doesn't make sense to me. So they can buy into this whole Hangman Punk deal if Punk does obviously retain the belt and unify the belt. What does he do the following week? I mean, does Hangman get technically a rematch, so to speak? I don't think they really have a rematch clause in AEW. And if so, how does MJF interject himself in that? Because realistically, MJF would be the one screwing over Punk.
Honestly,
but if Punk's not the
MJF
champ, if he gets screwed over, how does that work? You know?
MJF would Go ahead.
Well, I was also adding the fact that now with this whole Punk being the heel scenario that Bobby was also talking about, which would kind of make MJF the face in a sense. And now we have we've got FTR and Wardlow calling themselves the Pinnacle. So it kind of, there's like 3 different things here that are like in my mind going to like MJF coming back, and it's just all ass backwards to me.
Yeah, but honestly, I think out of anyone who's stuck in this predicament, MJF is probably in the most advantageous position because considering his promo didn't really point towards any which way direction wise, he could interject himself in any scenario, really. Sort of like a party crasher type thing. Like, rather than aiming it towards any one individual, he's aiming it towards the company as a whole.
But the biggest party crasher would be fucking with Punk in Chicago while he's the champ or in a title match. So that's why if they're going to do something...
So maybe it'll happen the following week.
Maybe.
In Chicago.
But then again, if they do give him something, these rankings don't mean shit again because MJF is jumping the line when we have 5 other people, according to last week, that are there. And I'll read off I already read them off. Hangman's number 1, Hobbs is number 2, Garcia is 3, Jay Lethal 4, and Darby's 5. So how the fuck does this work? Like, I'm
glad you're using
so
your head.
aggravating.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it doesn't work.
Right. So we're just gonna have to get rid of the bullshit ranking system altogether because if you just implement MJF into this whole title defense, then you got to be like Hangman's like, okay, what the fuck? I just got called out last week. So where's my title shot? Powerhouse Hobbs, I understand he's having a feud with Ricky Starks, so he's preoccupied with that. And then like everybody else that you said, like they're already in other feuds. So we're just going to implement MJF into this whole title card because he was pissed off at the company because he didn't get paid a lot of money. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you paid me now. Now put me in the fucking main event at All Out so I can beat CM Punk. And then I can become the Pinnacle again because we're always on top. All that bullshit. As much as
phenomenal MJF impression, by the way, Rich.
Well, I'm going to be Rich Dollars at All Out, and I'm going to mark the fuck out when he does come out. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. And my other bone to pick is just the damn themes. I know you're getting paid by all of these different companies, but nothing has to be House of Dragons. We don't have to keep adding dragon things. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's Dragon Tales, Dragon Cereal. Like, what are we selling
Dragon
here?
Slayer.
Yeah. Like, what are we selling?
Dragon.
This is why we're not getting 1 million people watching your thing. I think
Dragon.
That's my rant.
Super Dragon.
I love MJF.
Dragon
It
Ball
just
Z.
doesn't.
Dragon Lee.
Yeah. Tony Khan. I don't know what. That's my bone to pick. Tony Khan, what are you doing? That's it.
All right, guys. I just want to say before we wrap up here, again, what do you guys? How does MJF get involved in the situation after the last time we saw him? He told Tony Khan to fucking fire him. So how? Again, none of it makes sense to me. I'm leaving it up to you guys so I can make sense to it. If not, right now I'm looking like Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, connecting the fucking dots, being fucking
excellent meme. Bob, it's wrestling. Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket.
Joey, if that's the fucking answer, I can say that for every other excuse out there, or every other
But sometimes it doesn't have to be that complicated. Just buy a ticket.
He's just asking us how we would do it.
It doesn't make sense, but at the end of the day, I think what Tony Khan knows is that like the longer he keeps MJF off TV, the less impactful his return.
No, I agree with you on that. Keeping him off TV, smart. And he's gonna come back as a baby.
We all know Tony Khan's one of the worst bookers in television, so I'm not.
Not according to a Wrestler Observer, he's
number one.
Well, Dave Meltzer's the biggest AEW mark there is.
But still, if that is a credible wrestling news source, he is 2-time winner of Book of the Year. Go ahead, Joey.
I think it really just comes down to like he's really in that sweet spot zone right now of how long he's been gone. It hasn't been too short. If he doesn't show up back at All Out, I think then it will, to use my typical phrase, jump the shark in terms of being, thank you, Chad, in terms of being too long. That's what I'm going to say. All Out, perfect sweet spot. Anything more? Nuh-uh.
So at the end of the day, we're still going to enjoy it because we're going to be at the damn show.
Oh,
so,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
But it still
like, so
doesn't
we
mean
can-
we're not going to bitch about it. I
we can
love to
still-
bitch about it. It's fun.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're still going to enjoy it. I'm going to dress up as Rich Dollars. I'm going to be fly for All Out. And then you're just going to have to watch the vlog. I guess I can take us home.
Sure.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all
Boys
not
and
gun-
guns.
Yeah.
Were we the
Thrustbusters
NRA?
of all ages.
Gun club. All right, let's restart that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, everyone, thank you so much for listening to episode 8 of Do the Move podcast. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to be updated on all content related to Do the Move. We are here on Twitch. We are here on Twitter. We're here on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We got the Snapchat. Will we ever use the Snapchat? We don't know. We have TikTok. Will we have it? We don't know. Follow us on YouTube. Be up to date on everything. And as always, we say do the move. So for Joey, Chad, Sean, JT, Bobby, I'm Richie Buckets. And what do we do, gentlemen?
Do the move!
Se puede.
Peace
All
out,
right.
everybody.